Hey guys, I just finished my video on the physical body, and this is going to be the series of the 5 aspects of self. So today, now we're going to touch base on the intellectual body. We know that our knowledge base functions a little bit different than other species. We're not just the predator prey type of fauna. So with that said, that we have an aspect of understanding things that's a little bit different from other creatures. So in that, to make sure that our intellectual body is healthy and functioning, there are certain practices we can participate in that will help us to keep it healthy and moving and free of debris, as it were. I am not a super huge fan of just mind-numbing things. I don't enjoy large quantities of TV. Probably this year, since January, I think I may have watched 5 movies. And that's okay because I love to read books and I've been reading a lot. So that stimulates my intellect more than sitting and watching videos. But and I'm not talking about like documentaries or things like that. I'm talking about hours of mind-numbing, pointless chatter. That does nothing to stimulate the mind. And that is something that human beings need to survive. We need it. We need to grow. I mean, if you're not growing, you're being stagnant. And you know, stagnant water is a breeding ground for things that you don't want, like mosquitoes and bacteria and all kinds of not good things. So if we focus more on feeding our mind, the same way you want to eat healthy food, feeding your mind things that are going to help it grow and to change and to look at things in new ways, and to broaden your horizons as a human being. That's sorry. That's really what you want to like ground yourself into is that yeah, you can't know everything, but it doesn't mean that you shouldn't aspire to learn something. My grandmother always told me, you know, you should learn one new thing every day. And if you do that, honestly, your mind will be a very happy and joyful place. We can't always, yes, we can't always be learning things, but when you take a moment to explore something that you haven't, in the mental scope, in like a thought-provoking scope, honestly, there's so much depth and so much freedom to be gained by exploring. It's great. It really is great. I mean, just like pick up a book that interests you. Go to the library. Go perusing the shelves. The first title that like speaks to you, like, "Hey, I'm here." Whether it be about like reading maps or astrology or plants, animals, building ships, who knows, interior decorating. It doesn't really matter. It's it's just giving yourself another dimension to explore, even if it's only mentally. Um, you know, that's what you want to focus on. You want to focus on the intellect, the mind, the way your brain solves problems. Um, I don't know. Um, a book on mazes, whatever is going to get you to exercise um, an aspect of your mental capacity. Um, that's what you want to look for. Whether it's a new skill, an old skill, um, a skill that you've always wanted to learn. Um, I remember when I was doing macrame and basket weaving, that was like phenomenal. I was like, I love baskets, they're so freaking cute. And I never knew how to make one. And so I picked up a book on basket weaving. And it's very cool. And now any state that I go to visit, I pick up a map and I'll make a basket out of it. And anything that I bring home from that state, whether it's like a rock or a seashell or a cool pine cone, it goes in the basket of the state that I got the map from. So I remember where they came from. So things like that are really like cool and expressive, and you know, they give your intellectual body a form of expression. um, that is important. So we're going to be getting into that on the 14th through the 17th. That's going to be our week for the intellectual and emotional. Also, the emotional is governed by artistic things. So the intellect in my example is that's why I want to combine those two in the same week, because the intellectual is like the learning and then the exercising of the information, and the emotional is like that draw to want to be expressed. Because I enjoyed my time while I was out, I went and experienced something new, and I collected these little mementos of my trip. So those two are, in my experience, I have to keep saying that, in my experience, those are very linked. So I want to discuss them in the same week. The week after that, we're doing spiritual body and spiritual practices, and then we're doing shadow work and practices for all that stuff. Even deeper kind of than the Adam and Eve process that I came up with. So we'll get into that very soon. And tomorrow we're going to be touching on the emotional body and some of the practices that we're going to be getting into in week 14 through the 17th of July. So yeah, I'll see you guys then. Have a great day. Bye.